So as the son of the last Iranian Shah, do you believe the Ayatollah regime will fall soon?
The regime today is at its weakest it's ever been, for a number of reasons. The first reason is obviously the fact that it has lost complete legitimacy vis-a-vis the eye of the Iranian people, who in their greatest majority just reject the system as a whole. For years, they thought that the regime might reform itself, but today, most people, including former reformers, believe that it's time to move beyond this regime. The call to death to the dictator is often being chanted in Iran. The people have had it. So I think we are very close to change. But we believe that we are beginning to see more cracks within the regime, more defections are beginning to happen. And all of this is a sign that the regime is becoming more and more vulnerable. And there's an opportunity for real change very soon.
If you had the opportunity to lead Iran, would you do so?
You know, I've always said that my pledge to my country the day I started, which is 44 years ago, was only a unique goal of seeing Iran free from this regime and to bring about an alternative to this clerical dictatorship in the form of a secular democratic system for the future.
It seems there is historic opportunity that won't come again with Iran. What do you think is the best thing Trump can do? And what do you think is better, negotiation or attacking nuclear facilities?
Neither.
Okay, interesting.
Because diplomacy has basically failed, because the whole premise of Western diplomacy up to today was to pursue behavior change by the regime. Simply meaning that you have yet to understand the DNA and composition and nature of the system. If you want to achieve peace, you have to find partners in that, peacemakers. The Iranian people that are not represented by this regime are the peacemakers. We can be the solution to the problem, not this regime and whoever is represented by them. Ali Khamenei is not the person you can rely on as somebody who will deliver that for you. There's no deal to be made with them. That's one of the reasons diplomacy has failed, because the expectation was wrong to begin with. Now, does this mean that because diplomacy has failed, we have to jump straight to military confrontation? Of course not. And that's exactly why I've been suggesting that why don't you give, after 46 years, the Iranian people a chance to prove that they can bring about that change way before you have to resort to striking Iranian nuclear installations, whether it's the Israeli forces or anybody else, or actually getting into those kind of campaign of confrontation. We have a window of opportunity right now in front of us where the world can align themselves with the Iranian people at the agent of change and the elements on which you can build a lasting stability and peace for the region, which is win-win. It's win-win for the Iranian people, for the Western free world, and certainly our regional partners in it. Most importantly, Israel as a strategic partner to Iran, an Iran that, unlike this regime that hates you and wants you eliminated from the face of the earth, recognize the value of our relationship, which, by the way, is unique in the whole world, when you come to think of it. The relationship of Iran or Persians to the Israelis and the Jews is biblical.
Right.
It goes back 25 centuries. No other country on this planet can claim that. That's how unique it is.
You're right. During your last visit to Israel about 2 years ago, you spoke about Cyrus Agreement alongside the Abraham Accords. How do you envision this?
Well, again, I think that when you have the kind of relationship, strategic partnership, let's call it that, when we see eye to eye, it's what the commonality of our interests, starting with regional stability, which is conducive to better economic relations, which means opportunities and development and what have you. Everybody thinks of Iran of oil and gas. It's not only that. We are a country that could be the biggest country in terms of tourism and what an industry that could be. So imagine the potential of investment in Iran, from developing the entire Persian Gulf area in terms of resorts or ecotourism or I mean, the sky is the limit. But again, Iranians will not be able to achieve any of these hopes, or the world will not have an opportunity to invest in our country so long as this regime is there.
Do you think relations with Israel could one day be as good as they were with your father?
I think it will be multiple times better for a number of reasons. A, because I think that the phenomenon that leads us to appreciating that kind of relationship, let's face it, a lot of it was ingrained in religious fervor or opinion. So, of course, the relationship are going to be fruitful and more than ever, because we have passed that curve. We had to experiment with a clerical dictatorship, with a religious dictatorship that today leads Iranians to understand how important it is to have a secular system when religion has no part in government as a prerequisite to democracy and, of course, to human rights. There's no place for anti-Semitism or anti-Arabism or anti-anything. You know, we're missing the opportunity. Iranians are not stupid. They are smart. They realize what's going on. They know what's happening in the outside world.
It was amazing. What message would you like to convey to the Israeli people?
Regular Israeli citizens who had heard about the fact that I was visiting Israel, that might have caught news in the media, and they came to me, tear in their eyes, and telling me how much they hope to see that change, because they know how different our worlds will be, that you will be sitting there enjoying life, not worried about the next missile hitting a building in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, or another bomb exploding somewhere on the streets, because there's a regime out there funding terrorism all the time. That's the difference. And you know, this is exactly, at the end of the day, it's about people and people's power, and nothing can stop any country when they're determined to succeed of succeeding. It may be more difficult if they're alone, but ultimately they succeed. And that's the lesson we've learned in the free world.
I have to tell you that I feel, after talking to you, that I'm sitting with a leader that you're the future of Iran. And I was so happy to listen to you. Your Highness, thank you so much for this interview.
Again, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you.